Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to December 19, 2024. We have about 45 minutes left of training today, and I assume many of you have just gone away, done your own thing today, not had a look at the market and how it's performed, because most of us probably know before the market opened that today was going to be a bloodbath. And it has been a bloodbath. Everything is down big. Well, not everything. There is one company in particular that has gone in the complete opposite direction than the market. And of course, that company is the stock of the day. And I'm pretty sure most of you know what company that is. But before I discuss the stocks of the day, the top 5 stocks of the day, the ASX today, I wanted to discuss a couple of things. The first thing is why the market is down. And I'll discuss why the market is down just by talking about what happened to myself this morning. I actually have this process I go through every single morning, and it actually is interesting. And then I'll have a look at that particular tweet from the BBOZ letter in regards to Dow Jones. Something significant is happening there. And because of what's happening with the Dow Jones, I actually am a little bit hopeful that Wall Street will have a green day tonight. So I am hoping we'll finish the trading week in Australia on a positive note, because the last thing we want to do and end this trading week is to have 2 big down days. This today would have been really bad if it was on a Friday, because that negativeness would have probably lingered and festered into the weekend. And that's the last thing you want to do on a weekend. So I'll have a look at this tweet from the BBOZ letter, why I'm a little bit positive about the Wall Street tonight and our market tomorrow. And then we'll go through the ASX today. And I really want to put a little bit of a positive spin on the ASX today and also the top 5 stocks of the day. So I have chosen with a positive slant. Now, I'm not guaranteeing all company share prices are up, and I've also included an ETF. And hopefully you might know by me just saying I've included an ETF, what that ETF might be. Well, one of them, there's a few ETFs that are up big today, and it's pretty obvious what those ETFs would be if you know anything about shorting and that sort of thing. Anyway, and then we'll have a look at the top 5. I've already mentioned that. And then I'll have a look at some of your comments and have a look at some charts. Yes, I'm going to have a look at 4 companies I had on my buy list for today. And I thought, oh, great. Some of these companies might have dropped today. And if the chart still looks pretty good, today could be a good time to take a position in these companies. And I think the answer to that is no. I have a feeling all companies are up. All 4 companies I have on my buy list are up today. The odds of that. But that does show you there's a bit of strength to these companies. And that's why they're on my buy list. Anyway, so the first thing I want to do in this video is talk about my morning. I go through the same process every single, well, not every single morning. I don't do this on Sundays and Mondays because Wall Street is not open. So what I usually do when I wake up, and typically I wake up between about 4 and 5 a.m. It's not by design. It's just the time I wake up. I can't remember the last time I have woken up by an alarm. It's just when I wake up. And when I wake up, I'm awake. I don't need coffee or anything like that. I'm wide awake. There's no point trying to get back to sleep. So I just leave it up to the fate when I actually wake up. So when I wake up, and this morning it was around about 4:30, 4:40, the first thing I do is Wordle. Sometimes it takes me 5 seconds to do Wordle, sometimes a few minutes. The reason I do that straight away is because if I don't do it straight away, I'll forget to do it later in the day. And that's the only times I've forgotten to do it, is when I haven't done it when I first wake up. And then straight away, as I've done Wordle, I have a look to see what's happened on the American markets. So typically when I wake up, the American market's still open for an hour or 2. Now, I did know there was going to be a very important decision made at 5 a.m., but I thought, we know what the decision is going to be. That is Fed deciding what interest rates were going to happen. And we were expecting, everyone was expecting interest rates to drop by 25 basis points or 0.25%. At that point in time, when I woke up, the market was up. Dow Jones was up, I think about 2.2%. NASDAQ was up maybe 0.4%. Everything was looking good. And then I got ready to take the dogs out for a walk. And I came down to my computer at about 5:10 a.m. And for some reason, I don't know why, I just decided to have a look at the market. And, well, I do know why. I just wanted to see if there was any sort of reaction from the Americans, and Nasdaq at that point was down to negative 0.96%. I went, what has happened? That's the first thing that came to my mind. What has happened? Actually, in fact, the first thing I thought of was they have not lowered interest rates. That's the first thing that came to mind. Then I saw they had lowered interest rates and I went, J Powell must have said something in the commentary, in his speech. And he did say something in his speech. He mentioned that they don't expect as many interest rate drops in the next year. In fact, he said 2, if I remember correctly. The market was expecting, or is expecting 4. And one of the reasons is because of inflation. They actually do expect inflation to be a little bit more persistent. And that has caused, or did cause, a bit of a hissy fit on the American markets. And by the end of trading, Nasdaq was down 3.6%. Yes, in a couple of hours of trading, it went from being positive 0.4% to being down 3.6%. And you can see what caused that to the minute. So this is the minute chart for, that's Mesoblast. Sorry, I've given the stock of the day away. Anyway, this is the minute by minute chart. Doing really nicely, and then at exactly 5 a.m. Brisbane time, so it would have been 6 a.m. Sydney, Melbourne, and other times, other places in Australia. You can see in that minute, it dropped 0.24% and then just kept on dropping all day. Now, it didn't close at the low, so there was a nice little rally just before closing, but down 3.6%. Dow Jones down 2.6%, and Russell 2000 down 4.4%. So that is why the market is down today, because of what J Powell said, that they don't expect as many interest rates as expected. It's sort of, the way to look at it, it's sort of like a profit downgrade from a company. The market is expecting these 4 decreases in interest rates over the next year. And if they don't get it, they have to change their models, how they price companies. And they will price companies differently based off interest rates. So that's why the market is down, because it's changing expectations. And again, it just shows you change in expectations are really important. And that is what drives the market higher and lower. It's also the reason why my favorite type of announcement is a profit upgrade or downgrade, because it's a change in expectations. And that's very important. Okay, so that is what happened to myself this morning. Went from being up, Nasdaq was up, Dow Jones was up when I woke up, to being down by between 3 and 4%. Absolutely interesting day. Now, why am I hopeful about Dow Jones tomorrow or tonight's session? There's one reason, and this is via a tweet from the Kobayashi letter. The Dow Jones Industrial Average officially posts its first 10-day losing streak since 1974. The index is now down 2,700 points in just 2 weeks. Now that means it must be oversold. And if we keep seeing the Dow Jones down, we're going to see more and more records broken. It doesn't mean it's going to keep on, it doesn't mean it won't keep on dropping from here, but just based on probability, we're going to see at least one up day soonish. So let's just have a quick look at the Dow Jones. And yeah, not the 1 minute chart, just the daily chart. Yeah, so 10 down days in a row. But funny enough, if you have a look at this chart, it's still an uptrend. In fact, this could be at the buy the dip situation, sort of like what we saw back in August, like what we saw back in April. In fact, these little dips happen all the time, but not 10 days down in a row. And if you have a look at the RSI, which maybe I could do that now, RSI, so this is Relative Strength Index, I would say it is probably oversold. Yes, it's right on oversold right now. So it's getting right on oversold. In fact, it is in the oversold section, and that doesn't happen very often for the indexes. And the last time it got very close to being oversold was in April, and that was the bottom. And if we go back through history, it was last oversold before that, back in October last year, right on the bottom. So that's when it started to go or rally. It was also oversold back in early October, and it actually did rally just after that as well. Oversold back in March 2023, near the bottom. And I wonder if it was oversold back in June. Yep. So you can actually see a bit of a correlation. When the Dow Jones Industrial Average is oversold, you typically do see a bit of a bounce. So I am hopeful that we will see a bounce in the Dow Jones tomorrow. And if not tomorrow or tonight, maybe at the start of next week. But pretty bad day today. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. I'm not guaranteeing it will bounce, but I think it is oversold, and 10 down days in a row is pretty significant. First time it's happened in 50 years. Now, I wonder what the last time, in fact, can we go back that far in trading view? I won't say, I was going to say something now. I think it does go back that far. I just want to, it's just very slow though. And there it is. So 1974, there was pretty sure there was a recession that year. And the Dow Jones was in a bit of a bear market. And I'm just trying to zoom in. When we saw 10 days in a row, down days in a row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We actually had 11 down days in a row, it looks like. In fact, let's just confirm 11 down days in a row. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They had 11 down days in a row. And then look what happened after that. A pretty almighty bounce. And that was near the low as well during this bear market. There was a bit of a double bottom. Okay, so that's pretty interesting as well. But completely different market, 1974 to 2024. And I wouldn't be that bearish right now. I don't think this is ultimately really bearish news, to be honest with you. It's not the sort of thing that I will think lead to a significant drop in the market. Maybe this could be just a one-day thing. Could be. Anyway, so let's go and have a look at the ASX today. We'll try to put a positive spin if we can. And I've mentioned the market. I don't think I've mentioned this. It's been flat all today. We haven't seen the indices drop all through the day. That's actually a good sign that the initial selling was on open, and that's it. We haven't seen as much selling since then. And when I say as much selling, you're going to say, well, for every seller, there is a buyer. I hear that all the time. But it's all about the enthusiasm of the buyers versus the enthusiasm of the sellers. If the sellers are really fearful, they will sell on market, and that actually will push the share price down. If they're not as enthusiastic, they might sell at a limit, and if there's no pressure on the share price won't drop. So at this point in time, I'm not seeing any negative signs about what's happening on our market today. It's gone sideways from that opening sell-off. That's actually a good sign moving forward that maybe that is it for this particular sell-off. But who knows? We're talking about the future. Sectors. Not surprising, staples, the best performing sector, so very defensive. We all need food, that sort of thing. That's why it's called staples. Well, maybe it's not. But yeah, I think staples. Definition of staples. Well, we know one definition, but there must be another definition of staple. Something you need to survive. They're talking about what we know as staples. Yeah, here we go. A main or important element of something, bread, milk, and other staples. A main item of trade or production. Right, that's interesting. A centre of trade, especially in a specified commodity. Proposals were made for the wool staple at Pisa. Never heard that before. Main or important, especially in terms of consumption, staple foods of the poor. Okay, so yeah, we know what staples are, hopefully. And usually, because that is offensive, when we do see a bit of trouble in the markets, people will tend to move to the defensive companies, and staples is that. And IT is probably the opposite of staples, and there will be sort of a flow of funds from IT through to staples, and IT down 2.52%. Materials down big, financials down big as well, all down by over 2%. So obviously nothing really positive when it comes to sectors, nothing really positive when it comes to indices. Even gold's had a bad day, down 3.2%. You might have expected maybe a bit of rally in gold, but no. And ASX 20 down 1.9. Any positive companies in the ASX 20? I am going to say no. Maybe one company is up. There we go. There is one company up. Let's put a positive spin on this. Which company is up today? It's QBE Insurance. In fact, I'm trading that, so I'm happy with that. And then Transurban, which is sort of defensive. Yeah, it's defensive. They do have tolls, and I think if we do go in recession, you won't see much change in the usage of tolls. Telstra, yeah, I'd say that's also a bit of a staple as well, or not staple, a defensive company. Gambling, yes, people tend to gamble more in recessions, that sort of thing. Now, I'm saying recessions. That doesn't mean I think we're going to recession. And the worst performing companies, yeah, Pro Medicus, Fortescue, Iron Ore, banks, REA Group banks, yeah. It all makes sense. Again, banks are cyclical. They are not defensive at all. If we do go into recession or depression, banks will suffer. That's time to get interested in the banks, not now. Anyway, so let's get to the top gainers and the top losers. When we do have a look at the top gainers, the stock of the day is going to be given away, although I think I've already given that away. And for those who are living in a tunnel or in a cave, the best performing company, apart from Eneco Refresh, which I think that's on just a little bit of volume, so we can ignore that. But by far, the best performing company today is Mesoblast, up about 50%. Last time I looked, it was 50%. There it is, 50%. Oh, it's up 54.55%. I will be completely honest with you. I have taken a position in Mesoblast today. A lot of times I will wait to take a position on a day like this, but this is a sort of announcement, FDA approval, where I will take a position in the company on that particular day. I think there is potential. We're going to see significant amount of positive news flow from this company over the next few years. And it wouldn't be surprising if the share price of Mesoblast goes significantly higher from here. I'm not saying it will, but it wouldn't surprise me. And that's one of the reasons I've taken a position in Mesoblast today. Now, it's a long time removed from when the share price broke out. I mentioned that in the standalone video I've done on Mesoblast because it is a stock of the day. We'll have a quick look at the chart of Mesoblast later. NTAW down big yesterday, sort of a bounce today. I wouldn't be excited in that. And nothing much going on here. Merino Co. It's up and down like a yo-yo, and nothing else of note here. Yes, nothing really of note. Although Patriot Battery Metals up 17.5% on pretty good turnover, they must have released something, surely. Patriot Battery Metals. Let's see if they did release something today. They didn't. Oh, no, it was last night. It was last night. Strategic investment and offtake with Volkswagen and Pioco, who also did a presentation. I'm not the biggest fan of offtake agreements, but seems like the market doesn't care sometimes. And let's have a look at the chart for Patriot Battery Metals. We have to go. Oh, and first thing I note when I look at this, I'm going to get rid of the RSI. Don't really need that. The first thing I note when I look at this chart is it's in a downtrend. It's still in a downtrend. This is not really a breakout, or my definition of breakout anyway. Still in a downtrend, but this could be sort of announcement that would put a floor to the share price, and that floor to the share price would be about 25 cents. But I wouldn't guarantee it. But this is just a bad chart. This is a really ugly chart, and this could be just one day of good news, and then the share price continues to fall from here. Not my favorite type of announcement either. Anyway, moving on. Let's have a look at the top gainers by market cap. And we have Mesoblast, Credit Corp. I have no idea what happened with Credit Corp yesterday. Share price of Credit Corp dropped. What was it? 7? It was 8%. 7.9%. Now it's up 7.6%. I think the company should have released a price query from the ASX. Not really high volume. I have no idea what happened. There's no mention, no announcements. Something happened here. I have no idea. In fact, let's have a look at Credit Corp's chart. Not the daily chart. What we're going to do is have a look at the 1 minute chart just to see if there was any. There was a sell-off on open. And the low was on open. I think there must have been some sort of negative, maybe a downgrade from a broker or something. This is screaming out something happened to spook the market on open or before open yesterday. I could Google it. Let's Google it. I didn't really Google this at all. Credit Corp. I've got to spell it right. Any news flow from Credit Corp. Not significant. Nothing here. Nothing what I'm seeing. There must be some reason, but I haven't seen any reason thus far. But definitely something spooked the market on open. And to be honest with you, share price has been going up since then. So that would have been the worst time to sell. Anyway, what else do we have here? Botanix Pharmaceuticals. This is a company that looks like it'll be selling something soon, if I remember correctly. Up 5.84%. I did feature this company a few days ago, and I have a feeling I still like this chart. I'm going to have a quick look at Botanix. Yeah, I do like this chart. So good day for Botanix. You always want to see your company that you own your portfolio to be up when the overall market is down 2%. That's a really good day. Peninsula Energy, I will talk about that company. Biomes had a good day. What else? So I will talk about Mesoblast, one of these ETFs, and Peninsula, and the other two companies are not in this. Okay, so that's a good news, good fuel story, whatever you want to call it, for today. Some companies are up. It always happens. Even if the market was down 10%, there would still be some companies up. Not many, but some. Now let's have a look at top losers. And to be honest with you, some of these are going to be down because it's a bad day on the market. For instance, Novik Tech and VQ down 18.3%. I doubt any of these companies released anything of note today. Maybe one or two did. I've just missed it. But you can see most of these companies are fairly small, although Antipa Minerals does has a market cap of 121 million. 4DS Memory down, although I think I did see 4DS Memory. Maybe it was yesterday. No, it was today. Capital raising update. Don't care. And what else? Nothing. So let's have a look at top losers by market cap. And again, Zip, Megaport, Deep Yellow, SPS or SPC Global just keeps on dropping like a rock. SKS Technology. So a lot of these, not surprising to see share price down, to be honest. Andean Silver, yeah, silver's down, gold's down. Yeah, Pioneer Credit, a little bit surprised there. But there has been, the share price of that company has been dropping or dripping lower. I have a feeling today has sort of like capitulation. Today was a really bad day for Pioneer Credit, sort of capitulation days. Those who want to sell out probably sold out today because you had the added thing with the market and because the share price has been dropping. In fact, I'll just show you the chart. Why not? Pioneer Credit, it did drop below I am trading this, and it did drop below my sell price. In fact, yesterday, but I was just below it. And I think, yeah, with this drop, I just think this is capitulation. They did a capital raising about 2 weeks ago, and maybe that caused a little bit of negative sentiment, but yeah, still in profit, by the way. Still in profit. That's okay. I really want to see the share price get back up above 53 cents. If it doesn't, I will sell out of this position. What else? That's about it. Okay, not surprising to see some of these companies down. Zip, Megaport, SKS Technologies, SPC Global. I actually did expect that company to have a bounce because it's had 3 bad days in a row. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 bad days. 3 bad days in a row. Okay, so let's move on to the top 5 stocks of the day. And we'll start off with an ETF. BBOZ. BetaShares Australian Strong Bear Hedge Fund. So up 4.83%. So this is a good fill story for those who want to be short the market, who are bearish, like Jeremy Grantham, who has forecast the last 60 recessions. He's forecast the last 60 or 5. I forget what that saying is. He's in the news again. I think Jeremy Grantham. For those who don't know, Jeremy, maybe not in the news, but I did read a tweet or a news story about him. So he's very bearish. Here we go. Yeah, this is it. This is the tweet I saw. So Jeremy Grantham, he has predicted these 4 crashes. But if you go into the comments, you'll see a lot of replies saying, if you get to the comments after all the ads. Oh, actually, I've got to click on the actual tweet, don't I? I was just looking at the tweets that actually mention Jeremy Grantham. I do like listening to him speak because he's just interesting. Anyway, we have to go past all these replies to himself. Whoever wrote this, just reply after reply after reply. He's been calling a crash since 2021. Yep, he has been. In 2022, he said stocks will plunge another 40%. 3 months later, the market bottoms. He has predicted bubbles and crashes nearly every year for the last 30. He's predicted 10 of the last 4 bear markets. He's called 20 of the last 3 bubbles. Yes, that is Australian Grantham. He's an ultra bear, perma bear, that sort of thing. And on occasion, he's right, because if you're always forecasting a bear market or the market to crash, eventually you're going to be right. Anyway, I forget what I was talking about. Oh, that's right. I was talking about BBOZ. Yeah, so for those who are perma bears, I wouldn't recommend going to BBOZ at all. So pretty good day for those. But let's have a look at the chart for BBOZ. So there's a few of these sort of bear ETFs, and if you just had a look at the chart, there's no reason to be excited at all with BBOZ. So it has rallied lately, which is understandable, and it's still in a downtrend. So nothing to be excited when it comes to BBOZ. You can see maybe there was a bit of a breakout back in October of last year. So that looks okay for a little bit, and it's been going down ever since. In fact, if you go all the way back to when this first went on the market in 2015, it's dropped from $300 all the way down to $20. That's the nature of the market. That's why this is a really unsuccessful ETF, because over time, the market goes up, which means this particular ETF must go down by definition. So I don't know why anyone would put their money in this. Even if you're confident we might see a bit of a bear market, there's a chance you're wrong. And if you're wrong, then, this is going to go down. Anyway, so a good day for this at least. So BetaShares Australian Strong Bear Hedge Fund. Now, there's a few, if you go back to the top winners, there's a few of these bear ETFs. So there's this one, which I probably assume this one's geared. And there's another one here, BBUS, BetaShares US Equity Strong Bear CH Hedge Fund. Up 8.21%. Maybe that's one's hedged. Yeah, let's have a look at BBUS. I reckon this is down even more over the last few years. So BBUS. So this goes all the way back to 2015. And its price of this one's gone down from $150 to, what is it now? To $4.50. Again, why? There's no reason to be owning these for anything other than the very short term. That's just my opinion, but you just see by the charts. It's complete opposite to what you see for equity markets. Those go up from the bottom left to the top right. This goes from the top left to the bottom right. That's not the thing you want to be in. Just my opinion. Anyway. But still, a good day for BBOZ and BBUS. Now let's move on to Peninsula Energy. This has been a very disappointing uranium company. Even when uranium was going through the roof and we had Boss Energy, Paladin, Deep Yellow, Bannerman, I'm going to miss one or two. When their share prices were beautiful uptrends, Peninsula Energy was not. I have a feeling it's just because of the management. They've been doing a bad job. However, share price up 7%. Now, they did a capitalization. So when I remember this company, I remember this company as a 10-cent stock, not a $1.14 stock. So for those who haven't seen this company for the past few months, the share price hasn't gone from 10 cents to $1.14. They did a capitalization. Anyway, commencement of production at Lance Project. So Lance Project is in Wyoming, and I suppose this is good news. Yeah, they're commencing production. It has to be positive. Anyway, I did not really go through this at all. But it's just commencing production. It has to be positive. There's no real negative spin you can put on that, and the market thinks likewise. Share price up 7%. So let's have a look chart for Peninsula Energy. Is this a time to get excited about this uranium company? And if you have a look at the daily chart, the answer to that is no. In fact, the company released something negative on the 15th of November. What was that again? I forget. You have to go back 3 months. 15th of November, Peninsula Energy Lands Project update. Was that they had to spend more money to get it up in production or something? I forget. Oh, that's right. The final CPP, Central Processing Plant, capital cost is projected to be about $10 million higher than previous estimates. So that is negative, yeah. And ramp up production profile revised downward. So this was like a production downgrade. And that's why the share price fell on that particular day. In fact, yeah, this is a really ugly looking chart. It's been a downtrend for a while. There was a period of time when the share price was in an uptrend, but anyway, so good day for Peninsula. But there's just two red good days for Peninsula Energy over the past few years. Okay, coming in number 3, we have Syrah Resources. There you go. I'm hoping the share price is at least flat. It is flat. That's I'm thankful. They've decided to take it to China. They've said, screw you, China. Not only Syrah Resources, but other graphite people in the United States have said to people in law, said, China's being a bully, being a bad people. They need to be punished. So Syrah files petition to investigate Chinese anode prices. Now, for those who have heard me speak about tariffs before, I am anti-tariffs. But on occasion, tariffs can be a good thing. And in this case, I think tariffs can be a good thing. In fact, they've mentioned tariffs here. So Syrah, together with several North American graphite companies, submitted a petition to the U.S. Department of Commerce and International Trade Commission to investigate dumping of certain graphite products from China in the United States at unsustainable, unfair prices. They're doing an investigation in the US on imposing additional tariffs. And I think this is probably a good thing because apparently, and this is just speculation, apparently China, the government in China, is helping these graphite companies in China to dump their product on the American market. And I think that should be, that's a good justification for putting tariffs. If a government of a company is helping companies to do this sort of action, I have no problems with tariffs. No problems at all. They should be punished. Anyway, so I suppose a good day for Syrah. They're going after China, and because China's doing something really horrible. Anyway, that's all I read for this. A fair bit of commentary here. And lastly, let's have a look at the chart for Syrah. Unfortunately, the chart looks horrendous. It's an ugly, ugly looking chart. And even today, it's still ugly. So I'm still not interested in Syrah, even though they're taking it to China. Okay, coming number 2, we have Capral. Capral Limited, something to do with aluminum. Share price, I really hope it's up. It's down. Oh, why is it down? I don't understand why it's down. They released an announcement today called Profit Guidance. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing in the title to suggest if it's positive or negative. It's positive. The commentary was positive. This isn't positive. It's all positive. So I actually fully expect the share price to be up. I thought this was a positive news story for the day. Capral, market update, full-year guidance, 4-year ending 31st of December 2024. Now, I don't know if they had any previous guidance, but underlying EBITDA, 50 to 54, profit after tax, 23 to 27. But they did mention in the second paragraph, and this sounds really good, we are pleased to advise that market conditions in the second half of the year have been better than anticipated, resulting in expected lift in financial year 24 earnings to the top end of this guidance range or slightly above. Oh, wait there. So I've got this completely wrong. I thought this is the guidance now. No, I should have read it. This is the guidance they released on the 28th of August. Okay, this is, in a way, a profit upgrade. They're saying it's going to be towards the top end of this range or maybe even above it. This is a profit upgrade. The other thing is, market conditions are better than expected or anticipated. So share price is down. So just see that negative sentiment in the market can drive the share price of a company down, even when they release positive news. Anyway, sorry, Capral, I thought you might have been up. Your share price up today. But it's not. Capral in second place. Oh, by the way, chart. Yeah, I almost completely skipped the chart. So over the long term, and this company has, I forget who, there was a country, for some reason I think it was Indonesia, but probably Indonesia through the help of China. They were flooding the market with aluminium or something, and that's why the share price of this company dropped. When was it? I forget when. It must have been like 10 years ago. And then something's turned around for this company. Share price has been in uptrend since about 2020. Share price has increased from $3 to above $10. And share price is struggling to get above this level right here, we can put a line there. That is a resistance area or zone. And it would have been good today to see the share price get above that. It could have, if they released this tomorrow and it was a green day, the share price of Capral could have been up 5-10%. This is a sort of announcement that should lead the share price rallying like that. Should. Not always, but should. And of course, the stock of the day is Mesoblast. It's going to close. We're almost at the end of trading today. We've got 30 seconds left. Normal trading, 30 seconds left. This is normal trading. Then we have a closing auction. Share price almost at the high. High is 309. If the share price closes near the high or at the high, that's a really bullish move. Did I mention I have taken a trading position, Mesoblast today? This is sort of the only sort of announcements that I will take a trading position on the day. And I will or did mention or show you the chart in that selling video on Mesoblast. The breakout for this company happened way back in March, April, when the share price was actually below 50 cents. So this would have been a really good year for Mesoblast owners if you bought on the breakout when it happened. I was just not brave enough to do that. Anyway, so stock of the day is Mesoblast, FDA approval. Wait out for, if I haven't released it yet, when you're watching this video, wait out for that video. It's a fairly short video because there's not much to talk about. FDA approval. First FDA approval for the company, and I think this could be the start of really good news flow from the company over the next few years. Okay, so that's the top 5 stocks of the day. I had 4 companies on my buy watch list that I was thinking of buying today, and I was thinking, today, if we see the share price drop and the chart remains to be good, maybe today will be a good day to buy some of these companies. First one was EZZ. I thought this was a good chance. Share price not as down as much as I hope it would be. Did get down to 278, but we have seen some buying coming in, so maybe not. The next one was Kogan. I was thinking, Kogan share price should have dropped. This would be a good day to buy some Kogan shares. Now, up. The next one was People In. I thought, maybe the share price would go down as well. No, it's up. It's okay because the breakout for People In is above $1. And it might not get there. And the last one was Aroa Biosurgery. I was thinking, this could be a good little buy today if share price drops. No, it's up. I was like, why? Are all these companies up or down very slightly? Why couldn't we see a significant drop? Anyway, it just shows you that when there is strength in like the chart, there's good sentiment, good momentum in the share price. Even when you see a really bad day in the market, some of these companies will maintain that positive sentiment, that positive momentum. And we've seen that with these 3 companies or 4 companies. Okay, let's have a look at some of your comments. Yeah, why not? Rick Thellian, Credit Corp may get a price query. Yeah, I thought they would, and they haven't. Marino and Co-Strategy, yeah. Anything on Elders AGM? I actually did have a very quick glance at their presentation. I didn't see anything significant in it, and the share price hasn't moved all that much. So I didn't see any significant in there, but I might have missed something. And typically, if I think I might have missed something, I then have a look at the share price performance, and if I see significant movement, then I might be drawn to have a close look. But yeah, not with Elders today. What else? AGL fined 25 million Supreme Court. Yes, I did actually see that one. AGL fined. Yeah, share price down a little bit. So I don't think this has really affected the market all that much when it comes to AGL Energy to pay 25 million in centre pay proceedings. Let's have a look at the chart for AGL. I was trading this, then I got out. And at this point in time, I don't have much interest in AGL. There was a nice trend, and that trend was blown up about a month ago. So thank you, Rick Thellian. Karat Singh, today's video should be fun. Boxing Day sale on stocks came in early thanks to JP. So JPal, did you enter into new positions or top up an existing one? No. So again, yeah, Mesoblast. That was an obvious one for me. And I was thinking of maybe, as I mentioned, buying some positions in those companies if the share price had fallen, but no. Boxing Day sale. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this could be a buy the dip situation. I think it could be. I do expect the Dow Jones to be up overnight. But again, I could be wrong. CMNHL. Oh, Mesoblast. Why Mesoblast is a buy? I did that video, 4 years ago, and I was actually quite positive about Mesoblast back then, and I think finally they've made it. So again, it's taken a long time for Mesoblast to get to, actually, I said this in the video, but it's taken Mesoblast a long time to get to this point, and I think this could be the start of some really good things for the company. Anyway, Mesoblast, yep. I thought there'll be a fair few comments about Mesoblast. Map040, worthwhile having a look at Mesoblast, FDA approval, yep. Talked about risk down. That's the main thing, lower risk now. So even the share price is up 50%, I do like these announcements because it decreases the risk, and I think the share price can go on a significant run from here. So even though you've missed out on some, a higher share price rise, so you could bought at say $1.50 to $2, the risk is lower. Still cheap at $2.54. If I am right and the company releases really good news flow over the next year, if they get further FDA approvals, which I think there is a possibility, you could say this is cheap at $2.54. Rick Thellion, yep. US Federal Reserve delivered its third consecutive rate cut this year. Yep, quarter percentage point. US markets tanked after announcement and continue to go down even further. Market was up prior. Yep, market was up. I've mentioned this. Market was up. So it's just because they mentioned fewer interest rates cuts in the future. Market expecting 4, he said 2. And also they mentioned something about stickier inflation, which is understandable because if Trump does do what he's threatening to do, if that's the right word, inflation will go higher. And I think the American country will go into recession. Rick Thellion, I lost 2. I think, okay, this is about Omni Bridgeway. They just jumped into client's issue. Yes, I've just mentioned that. And Bill, I4F, loving the updates. Can you please share some stock timing entries in real time and advise stop loss percentages? As an early investor, I'm doing my best to time a good entry based on change of market structure. Breakouts have a tend to time the entries off slightly and have my stop losses hit more times than not. Not sure if I will do stop timing entries in real time. That's a little bit too much for me, and advise stop loss percentages. What I could do is go through charts of companies I am trading and just show you the stop loss percentages. One of the things I have read, because I don't use manual stop losses. No, I use manual stop losses, not automatic stop losses. But one thing I have read is people have their stop losses way too high. So maybe that is your problem. Timing your entries also is something I'm trying to get right as well. That's one thing I really want to get right as well. So I can sort of tell you what I'm trading, that sort of thing, and show you charts, but I'm not going to do it real time because it's just a little bit too much work, I think. Rick Thellion, please more an SPC, trigger period SPG. Yep, took a position today at 109. I hope you are, SPG down to $1. Now, some of that could be because the overall market is down, but I don't know what's happening with this one. The market just doesn't like this particular deal. Share price down 17% today, or yesterday, down another 8% today. And I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think what price they were expecting it to be when it opened trading. For some reason, I'm thinking $2, but that has to be wrong. Yeah, it has to be wrong, yeah. But even if you have a look at when it opened, $1.51 on Tuesday, and the share price closed at $1.31, share price dropped a lot from open to close. So share price has actually fallen 33% since it opened on Tuesday. That's a fair bit in 3 trading days. So I don't know what's caused this drop, but people aren't happy with the price of this company. And I did have a quick look at their prospectus, 246 pages long, and their presentation, and I sort of can understand. I was a little bit, I was left unimpressed when I went through the prospectus and the presentation. It says transformational merger, but I didn't see many things to like. Put that way, yeah. So I think the market's seeing the same thing. Okay. Where are we? So I give that. Rough opening. Seems to be some concerns that Assad tennis from Nature One might still be involved. Funny enough, I went through the prospectus and all this stuff, and Nature One was their only sort of vision. I was like, ooh, that's actually doing really well. So I'm not sure about this. Assad tennis. Just want to Google him. Yeah, so that's something that I don't know anything about. Okay, Mutasamayaz, Yojee chart seems to be turning around after going sideways for a while. What's your take? Let's have a look at the Yojee chart. And I do remember this because I was thinking the same thing. Yojee, but will be just the share price? No, the share price is much better than I thought it was going to be. Definitely this has the makings of a nice little turnaround. In fact, yeah, we saw the share price go sideways, sort of sideways, but then a little bit of a dip, and the share price has taken off. Some really good volume coming through as well today. Share price is relatively flat or maybe down a little bit today. I don't know much about this company. Even when I do have a look at the company's most recent appendix 4C, I don't come away that impressed. But something has really shifted sentiment in this company. So this is the most recent appendix 4C, Yojee, transport management for contracted road carrier networks. And if you have a look at the receipts, $268,000 receipts, and of course, operating cash flow and free cash flow negative. So I'm not seeing anything to be impressed just yet, but the market likes something about Yojee. And if I was just looking at the chart, this looks a really interesting chart, a really good chart. So I actually agree with Mutasimias. The chart actually, it's definitely turning around. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks really good just by looking at the chart. The company, I'm not so sure about, but the chart looks really good. P. Mahar Junggood. Okay, can you make a video of the screener from start to finish without missing steps, please? Okay, I won't do that today's video, but I can do that. Matthew says, got a feel for those Percheron shareholders. What happened to the share price today? Let's have a look. Nothing. I don't think it's going to fall much from here, to be honest. And then Sensei and Sam Bell. In regards to Isatana, it's great to hear your analysis on these type of companies, Kneppy. Hoping Isatana can turn their fortunes around. I did notice the other day the share price just fell a little bit as well. So I thought it was a good announcement. Yeah, the share price keeps on falling. That's you see that a lot. A really good announcement from the company, or maybe not a really good announcement. The share price does rise, and some traders get caught because they think it's a good announcement, but there's just too much pressure on the share price because of the amount of shareholders that bought at higher prices, and they just want to get out. And we have seen the share price now drop 3 days in a row. So Isatana is the sort of company that I'm just going to be looking at the chart, and if I see the chart starting to turn, sort of like Yojee, that's when I might get excited. But at this point in time, not there yet. Okay, and that's all I have for the announcements or comments that have been released on my videos since yesterday. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, just don't forget, I am not a financial advisor. I've already said that. If you need a financial advice, make sure you find someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.